Hi, I'm Harris from Growlife. Today, I'd like to talk about something which I had left off from the last time. I was speaking about bullying the other day. Why is bullying such an important aspect? Bullying is something that affects many people's lives, and normally we presume bullying only happens within a school or an institution or places other than home. Unfortunately, bullying happens even at home. I mean, yeah, as I said earlier, between siblings and partners and wherever it is, and we presume that bullying is something that can be taken very lightly. Unfortunately, it is not. Anything that is perpetuated in a manner which is relentless or without any let up is what we could construe to be something that causes deep pain to the other person and may even leave scars in the other person's mind or affect their morale or even more worse, their self-esteem. There are some things that you find very hard to come out of. It takes a long time later in your life to possibly get rid of it, unless you go for some therapy or meet somebody who's a professional who will guide you and advise you, will be able to remove some of these fears that remain a part of your life. So why do I want to talk about bullying? Bullying also happens on social media. I find I'm very surprised that, especially when it comes to women, there is a lot of very nasty, negative comments and various other things that happen on social media. If a woman or a lady comes forth and expresses her views in a strong and firm manner, a lot of people seem to feel that a woman should be put in a place rather, which I feel is a very sad state of affairs. I think it's very crucial that women come forth. What do we expect of a woman to be? When you mean putting a woman in a place, what do you really mean? Who gives you the right to decide that you have the right to decide somebody's life? Yes, as a parent, as a family member, you may be able to give suggestions and inputs and advice. Today, unlike earlier, even children have very strong and firm opinions for themselves. So I think it's very crucial to understand that while we have every right to express our views, I think the other party also has a right to have a firm conviction about what their dreams and plans are. Again, what happens is, while these plans are important, if it comes to the manner of who bears the cost and etc., then again the parents or the person who possibly has to foot the bill may have a right to an opinion. Also, as a parent with more experience, we may be able to advise and guide our younger ones to take decisions that will not harm them later in their life. But as I said earlier, today youngsters are very strong. They seem to understand and have a clear conviction as to what they want out of their lives. So I think it's important to treat them like friends and partners rather than somebody whom you tell what has to be done. Those days seem to be a little gone and forgotten. So it's crucial that we learn to communicate with them in a manner that is easy for both sides to express their views so that both sides are willing to be heard. So the other thing, as I said, on social media, there are people who are, I presume, are called trolls or whatever that is that you want to call them, who believe they have a right to discipline or enforce some kind of moral policing on other people, which I feel is the saddest and the most, I would even go as far as saying it's a criminal act. How do you enforce your right or your will on somebody else's desire to follow what they believe is their right to life? So I feel, and especially one fact is that you express a view. The most difficult aspect is when people tend to believe that if you do not listen to my point of view or don't accept my point of view or I don't agree with your point of view, I will speak in a manner that is nasty and vicious. And, sad to say, really, really sad to say that people actually start using abuse, filth, which is absolutely below the belt and against people who are not even part of their lives. Somebody who does not even exist in their life is someone whom they are put enforcing their rules or discipline. So I think it's important to understand that we as individuals have the right to view somebody's opinion or a video or a post that they've put. As long as they're not abusing somebody or making comments that are crass or is hurting us as a whole, their opinions, their views are theirs. Why should we, if they want to live a particular way, if they want to, behave in something, as long as it does not hurt or cause damage to somebody else's life or vilify somebody else, then it's their right to have a point of view or a way of life that they feel. As long as the rules of the law and statutory things that apply, which I presume the law is there and the enforcing authorities are there to take a call on it. Who are we as individuals or a mob or a herd who get together and use abuse against women and sometimes even people whom they don't feel fall into their line of thinking or thought process? So I feel this kind of abuse is one of the worst form of bullying ever. I think there's nothing more mean and nasty. Just because a million people say one person is wrong, it need not be true. Just because a million people insist and say that one person is wrong, it need not, as I said, need not be true. It could be possible that the other person may be right. But when it becomes a million people versus one, sometimes, it's brute force that wins against what seems to be fair. So I think we as human beings have to understand fair is the most invaluable trait that humans need to carry in their lives. Even if I know or see that, I see a group of people who seem to be going after someone, and if I find that they have misunderstood what the other person stands for and that other person has actually got right or, what would you call it, fairness on his side, then I think we need to have the guts to stand up and say this person is right, even at the risk of facing certain amounts of difficulties from other people. So I think this form of bullying, I believe, is one of the nastiest manner of bullying that I've ever seen in my life. I think it has to stop. No one has a right to infringe on somebody's personal space. If somebody puts out a video, if you feel that it's very wrong or thing, you have every right to go put it up or post it or object to it by, triggering a thing to the said channel, or if you feel that it's got to go really further, you can go to the authorities. But what is most important is, it is their right to express an opinion. If it is no way harming you, it's their personal life. Nobody has a right to enforce discipline on somebody else. So I would advise, and I would not use the word advice, I would suggest to everybody, please show respect, mutual respect to anybody who is on social media. People may be making an effort to do things that they enjoy doing. As long as it doesn't harm anybody or vilify anybody, no one has a right to put pressure or abuse on a social setting. So this is one of the worst forms of bullying, and I would wish that every one of us would respect the space that each person is entitled to. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Don't forget to press the bell icon, subscribe, and your feedbacks and comments are valued. Growlife signing off.